Alright, here's another little project. I'm creating a drag to pull the rock out of my driveway. And what I want is for this piece to be hinged right here. Okay, so I don't think a door hinge is going to do it, and what I'm going to do is make a hinge, and I thought I'd go ahead and explain to you how I make this hinge. I forget where I learned this, but it is something I learned from another fabricator. Alright, so I'm going to run a piece of 5-inch pipe here, and I've sectioned it off in 1-inch segments. The problem is if you cut it now, lining all these pieces back up gets a little bit difficult. So I'm going to take this to the bandsaw, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this down to the bottom but not completely through. Alright, so let's do that. Alright, so here we are at the bandsaw. We'll put this in here, line up my 1-inch mark. We're going to start cutting. I'm going to watch this. And we're going to stop. Right there. And we'll repeat that cut 4 more times. Alright, so here we are with the tube cut. And the one thing I didn't show you is, I hope this makes sense, is we didn't cut it all the way through, but we kept the uncut portions all on the same side. So when we weld this on, we're going to weld this so we can come back with a hacksaw and finish these cuts. Alright, like all good welders, I've taken the time to grind the rust off of pieces I'm welding. I've also added a stop or a pin holder, so when I put my pin in here, I can tighten that down, it won't fall out. You want to add about a 1/4-inch gap in here, because when you weld the top side, you're going to want to go underneath and weld the bottom side too. That's going to give you a strong hinge. We're putting the hinge on so the uncut parts are at the top. Leave a 1/4-inch gap in here, because when you weld this side, you'll also want to open it up and weld the bottom side. If you got this too close, then your welds will bind and you'll never get it to close properly. Alright. Also, you're going to weld every other hinge. I want 3 on the main beam, so I'm going to weld this one, the center, the end. I want 2 on this beam. It's going to be this one and this one. If you weld 2 hinges side by side, or the whole bar all the way across, you'll defeat the purpose of the hinge. Alright, so 1, 2, 3 on this beam only, 1, 2 on this beam only. When we get done, we'll open it up and weld in between. The other thing you might want to do is make sure you're square. Alright, so I'm ready to weld. Alright, I got the welds on the top done. Now for the good time. Alright, that's one. I'll be back with another 4 done. Alright, so now I've got the underside of this all welded on both of these pieces. I've cut a pin for my hinge, it's 5 inches. See if this slides together. There it is. We'll use this pin keeper that I made. Don't want to lose that pin using this. Alright. I've also cleaned up in between these hinges, make sure it doesn't bind up. So there you go. Come to think of it, I've seen my dad make this on airplanes. If you spend a little more time, you can make it a lot nicer. This one's a little loose, but it's going to do exactly what I need it to do. Alright. Good luck with yours.